All right, YouTube, I made a video yesterday regarding Trump's statement on the terror watch list. While it wasn't premature, the NRA has since put out a statement. They've been working hand in hand with Trump. They've already endorsed him. Based on that, I'm not concerned about what Trump or certainly the NRA is saying regarding the Second Amendment. It seems that the plan, the way it was phrased originally, it sounded like what was intended was that the terror watch list and the no-fly list would simply preclude a person from owning a firearm. My problem with it being, of course, that's unconstitutional. The person has been arbitrarily put on a list and hasn't undergone a trial. They haven't had the ability to appeal the fact that they're on such a list. What the NRA, though, now is saying in their own release is, of course, paired with the concept that these people could not own firearms, a person who's on that list would be able to actually come to trial, present evidence in their favor, provide witnesses and so forth, go before a jury, actually have an honest-to-goodness trial that conforms with the Fourth Amendment. If that's the case, I have no problem with it, because what I think you'll find is that in most cases, probably like 90% of them, the people on the terror watch list are not terrorists and not interested in terrorism. You could be on the list. I could be on the list. Well, I flew fairly recently, so I'm probably not on it. Any random person can be on it. We've got tales of, some old lady. She's like 90. She's on the terror watch list. Some kid has a name similar to a wanted individual. They're on the terror watch list, and they actually bar the toddler from the flight or something. We've had these problems. I think what this will do actually could be a good thing, because when it becomes clear how many people were erroneously placed on the list, when it becomes clear how many people proceed to some sort of trial or they appeal the decision that they're on the list and they're successful, people will get to see once again how inept government really is. And in the case that there is an individual who actually is planning something, of course, and they get thrown in the gulag or something, well, we've actually just finally thwarted an attack, because the FBI, the NSA, all these other groups that operate with all these lists and all this other surveillance mumbo-jumbo have so far not provably stopped a single terrorist attack. We don't have any specific example of one being stopped. They didn't stop the Orlando shooter. They didn't stop Fort Hood. They didn't stop the Boston bomber. They haven't stopped anybody. Some local law enforcement official is more likely, or some random bystander, than the NSA and the FBI combined to stop any of these individuals before there's actually an attack. After the attack, the FBI goes in and air holes them out and fucking turns them into Swiss cheese. Until then, they seem bound by the inability to do anything. I think it's a problem. We've got the government. They throw somebody on a watch list, right? They're undergoing surveillance and so forth. There's usually still an attack anyway. If that person is such a threat that you can't let them board an airplane and you're trying to deprive them of their Second Amendment rights, their right to bear arms, their right to move freely, their right to privacy, if the government thinks that there is such a compelling need to do that, bring them to trial. If you have enough evidence to support the idea that they're actually interested in conducting an attack, then do that. And again, I would say one other thing. Some people might not like this, but mere suspicion of a person based on the fact that they're even pro-jihad is not a constitutional argument. A person can be an extremist and have done nothing specifically unlawful. Now, I may not like this fact. I may think pragmatically, now, they should probably be up on a pike or something. But the Constitution has to be protected nonetheless, because, again, you let the government do that. You let the government say, well, this person's ranting about how great ISIS is, so we're going to deprive them of their constitutional rights even though they've committed no actual specific crime. Okay, well, then what happens when the government says, no, those NRA members over there, they seem kind of bigoted to me. I think that I'll block their Second Amendment rights. These Occupy Wall Street folks, they're a fucking hassle. They're just throwing bottles. No more right to assemble for you. You see the slippery slope here. Now, both parties, when they're not in power, will support this concept. Both parties, when out of power, of course, deeply oppose and say, there's no slippery slope. The Republicans, there's no slippery slope to the idea of a 5-month abortion ban. Democrats in power, there's no slippery slope to the assault rifle ban. I don't support either of them. But if this specific type of reform is used, I'm comfortable with that because you have the right to appeal the fact that you're on the list. You know, you find out you're on the terror watch list or something, they should, as well, notify people that they're on these watch lists. I know it may seem counterproductive, but I am personally convinced that the vast majority of people on them have done nothing wrong. They looked up the wrong thing on Google. They talked to the wrong person overseas, maybe even by accident. It was a wrong number or something. All of a sudden, they can't fly, they can't own a gun, they can't do this, they can't do that. The Fourth Amendment's out the window. I don't think so. I don't trust the government with that because these government agencies like the FBI and NSA, they spy on everyone. That doesn't seem to do any good. So why would I trust them with these arbitrary lists that violate the Fourth Amendment that you can't even appeal? I don't. So I think that Trump's idea, if he goes along with what the NSA, the NRA is proposing, that's a good idea. Reform those. You kill two birds with one stone. You can actually bring these people in if you've got the evidence to do so. And number two, you finally have a way, because the government has obstructed it for more than a decade, for people to clear their name, for people to get off of the no-fly list. I think that's quite appropriate. That's about all. Peace out.